City Skylines 2 released today. I don't like the game. Now, before you say I'm jumping on it and being hateful, wait a minute, guys. I actually liked Victoria 3 at release and saw the promise in it. This game, no, I do not. You can tell I've got a not recommended down here, and that has to do with a lot of factors in this game. Here's the long version, and it starts right here. There's no workshop page. I go to Cities 1, and I see the workshop link. I can click here, and boom, it takes me to this wonderful page where I've got over 330,000 different mods and assets that I can load, and I could basically do a little bit of shopping and pick things out before I start my game. Once I'm ready, I go back to the game and I launch and I'm fine. But I have loads of them. That's why I have 64 gig of RAM. I bought it specifically to play City Skylines. That's how much I love this game. I didn't give it up when my computer couldn't handle it. I got a better computer. So Cities 2 says that their mods are actually going to be in Paradox mods, not in the Steam Workshop. This does not fill me with hope. I see places with lots of mods, but I know that in the Steam Workshop there's even more for those games. And when we look at City Skylines, only 123? And out of them, there's 0 subscribers on any of them? Yeah, I checked. There's just nobody subscribing. And these are good mods. I've used Quad Rioters. There's King Leno ones in here. I mean, I've used these. These are not skanky mods by any means, but they're just not being touched. And honestly, if Paradox mods are going to be where I have to go do my mod shopping before I start playing the game, it's not top of mind. The link isn't right there on the Steam page. I'm not going to go hit this. Worse, if I go to these mods, I get the title, I get who made it. Where's the date it was loaded? Where's the comments where people can say whether it's working or not? How do I know if this has been updated? I got no information. Where's the Git page so I could take a look at the code in the case of an actual mod? So before I run the code, I can make sure that it's not going to hack my computer or anything. I don't get any of that here. At least with other sites like Nexus Mods, they've got comments on there as well. In fact, Nexus Mods I think is better than the Steam Workshop, except it's just not as convenient to use. But I digress. Paradox Mods is not the place I want to download my mods from. And it's where I have to get them for Cities 2. And availability of mods brings me to SimCity 4. You look at this thing, came out January 2003. That's 20 years ago at the time of this recording. Really 20 years and a couple of months. And the game is still going. It's still popular. I look at the actual mods available for SimCity 4. Folks, they have got page 1 of 83, and these are just the non-RCI buildings, or what we'd call Rico and City Skylines. 83 pages of these assets, and then I got to go to other pages for the other ones. This game is over 20 years old, and they've got ones that are still being submitted. Folks, this is a well-loved game. The modding community is active, and they love it. Compare that to SimCity 2013, which was a bit of a flop, and we see there are 25 buildings. That's it. Game over. It came out 10 years later. It was supposed to be so much better, and nope, it's not. And in fact, you look here, it's celebrating 20 years of SC4. It is not celebrating 10 years of SimCity 2013. There's your big clue there. And if we look at subcategories even, those are all the ones we have there for 2013. For SimCity 4, oh my gosh, here's all the cattle. It's tons of things. Yeah, SimCity 4 is a well-loved game because the modding community had their spot, they had their support, the game was good, and they kept building for it. City Skylines has got that going. Cities 2, by moving the mods over to Paradox and there being more of a gateway and they're not as easy to tell about, I got a bad feeling about that. A real bad feeling. So now let's look at graphics performance. And already on day one, the folks at City Skylines 2 have said, here's some tips on how to maximize performance. I am only at 240 people in this town at the time of this screenshot, and the game was running slow. This is on minimal graphics, the lowest of the low. Forget tuning. I've got shadows turned off. I got everything turned off. And it was still going about at maximum speed. It was going as fast as a slow, moderately sized city on Cities 1. 240 people, and this is what I get. Yeah, and you get the little cardboard cutout trees here in the background. This is really rough looking. The jaggies is just, I mean, I would expect this with a video card from 2003 that's got 256 meg of RAM, and I've got a Pentium 3 processor pumping it out. But I've got a rig that was built for Cities 1. I've got an RTX 3060. I've got the Pentium i7 12700H. Yes, I have a laptop. I've got 64 gig of RAM. I got plenty of room to play with. And I had to go to the lowest settings to get some good performance, because when I went to the highest settings, this is what it looked like. Yeah, we cleaned up some of the jaggies. We turned on anti-aliasing, but I've got the same cardboard cutout trees. They just have clouds in front of them, or fog, or what have you. Now, go back to this. Really crummy looking water, cartoon color, grass, and all that. Let's compare this to the lowest video settings in Cities 1. All right, lowest settings in Cities 1. At least the water is clear. I can see whatever color is underneath it. They'll determine the color of the water. I do get a couple of weird jags here, and these are also going to come out with the highest setting. The trees in the foreground are not rendering very prettily, but the trees in the background are rendering just the same way, and, well, they look kind of okay. At least I can see some variation in them. They're not cardboard cutouts. And while, yeah, I don't have the ability to read the logos on the hotel, and the car looks a little blocky, the bridge here looks pretty decent. I remember, I don't have a screenshot of it right now, but I did have in Cities 2 a screenshot of a bridge. Well, let me go ahead and find it for you. Hang on here. Yeah, here it is. This is lowest setting graphics, the bridge. This is an 8-bit wonder thing here with just I don't see the actual lines drawn in. It's just like a little bit, just enough to give a hint of it, like they did back in the 8-bit days. The power lines, everything. Ugh. This is atrocious. And if I have to run the game at this in order to get a decent speed, oh, forget about it. Especially when running it at the highest level, I still had 8-bit wonder, or it was like more like 16-bit wonder graphics. It was just not good at all. But on the lowest settings in Cities 1, these look pretty okay. Let's now compare the highest settings to the highest settings. All right, this is high City Skylines 2, and this is high City Skylines 1. My trees are doing okay in the front. I can tell what the cars are. I can read Hilton over here. I can read Bridgestone. My trees are still set with my LOD setting, so that way they don't have to fully render. That's something I kind of miss not having in CS2. I can't change how it renders things. I can't turn off the atmospheric effects. There are times when I'm trying to build and I really don't want fancy going on. I want to have stripped down settings just so I can slap things in together. But Cities 2 doesn't let me do that. And I hate that. I want to be able to turn them on. I want the weather on when I'm touring the town, when I'm taking a look at things, when I'm standing on a corner and just watching the people walk by. But no, I can't turn them off. All this atmospheric effect here, I think I can turn the fog off, but the clouds are going to be there. The weather is always there. It's not going away. And the trees do not stop wobbling. In Cities 1, I've got a mod that tells the trees, stop moving. We don't need this. But here, they're always wiggling back and forth. And I think even the ones in the distance are moving somehow, or they're calculating it, because this was running my GPU at 98%. On the lowest settings, it was running like around 70%. On the highest settings on City Skylines 1, let's go back to that. The highest settings, my GPU was running around 30 to 40%. I'm getting a lot more out of my graphics card with Cities 1 than I am on Cities 2. If Cities 2 was running it that hard, but it looked like, oh my gosh, this is so realistic, I could pinch myself and have to, like, am I really there? I'd be fine with that. I would say one day I will buy the card that will handle those graphics. One day I will buy the card that handles this. I don't think so. I already own the card that handles this, and it's playing City Skylines 1. Running it with this level here, the highest level graphics, I was getting about 50 people in my town every 2 minutes. That is horrendously slow. Forget ever doing a speed run with that situation going on. With Cities 1, I can get quite a few people in 20 minutes. In fact, it took me 20 minutes to get to a town of 3,200, which it took me an hour and a half to get in Cities 2. And this is not trying to figure things out. I was doing speed building. It was obvious. Build the road, zone it where, I got these zoning lines that tell me what needs to be zoned, and if I don't zone them, the town does not grow. I got that. I figured that out. So I'm slapping down zoning. As soon as the little one comes up, I'm whack-a-moling, I'm building out the roads and everything, and it's still just so slow. And by the way, speaking about building out all those zones, what the heck, Grid Tool? You had one job. Make a grid. Make a grid. And what is this? The people who want grids tend to be a little bit obsessive and compulsive in their behavior, and that's who I am. And why, when I say make a grid, why did you do this? You're supposed to be clicking on things. Later on, I made another grid, and it turned this entire 4-lane road into a 2-lane road. Grid Tool, you have one job. What the heck? That also brings me to the sensitivity of the road tool. I expect it to lock in very well, and it just doesn't do that in Cities 2. I'm going to have to start showing you things in Cities 2 now, so let me take some time to load up the game. Oh, it loads up real fast, way faster than Cities 1 does, but I have a ton of assets and DLC in Cities 1. When I got Cities 1 and I set the settings so I loaded no DLC, no assets, no mods, it loaded as fast as Cities 2. So Cities 2 loads fast because it has nothing in it. All right, so here's the game, fully loaded. And I'm at the top video settings. It is paused, 3,400 people, mind you. Let's go ahead and just shift off to the side. Whoa, yeah. It's not so pretty. Let's go ahead and unpause and watch the cars move kind of jaggedly. This is not a smooth motion, folks. All right, there's supposed to be things to do to fix it. Oh my gosh, it's crawling. 3,400 people. And let's see how fast the guys are moving here. Oh gosh, let's zoom in. Yeah. Oh, wow. It's the Walking Dead. Oh, it's the Driving Dead. Oof. Although, that's a nice looking motorcycle. But I'm not playing motorcycle Skylines. And honestly, that's the one nice motorcycle, and then all the other cars are just, they're boxy. And that one motorcycle now gets repeated, so now it's not so special. And okay, Corinne Pierce is really able to hold that pose. Good job there. Yeah, tracking all these people doing all their things, I'm not impressed with that, because they're either at home or they're at work, or they go to a park. I don't need to follow everyone around all the time. As for these clouds, this is nothing new. They have them in City Skylines 1, and they go a lot faster. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and, as we scoot along the street, I'm just holding down the pause button, or not the pause button, the movement button. It highlights everything. I hate that part. Let me get the mouse out of the way. If I want to just go along a commercial street, what would normally be a smooth scroll in Cities 2, even at the highest level, just goes, I hate that here. All right, there's supposed to be some things to do to fix your graphics. Well, the easiest way to fix the graphics is just to take them down to absolutely nothing, which if I go like that, go to very low, that fixes everything. That was a problem before. Give it a second here. Let's resume game. There we go. Let the textures rebuild. Don't panic. Now I can zip along here and okay, everything's moving all the way they should. Yep, they're turning around. They're all doing that. I can zip and scroll and move like I did before. And there's a problem with all this because the graphics are so crappy now. This is just painful. If I want to get any decent speed, this is what I gotta do. Oh, houses are on fire. What else is new? It's a City Skylines video. I've got a fire station somewhere. It's only 3,400 people. They can make it there. Now, I was talking about the road tool. All right, so let's go here. Regular 2-lane road. I'm going to make it just a straight road here. All right. Click on that. Good. I got that. Now, my problem is that I've got neuropathy, and my fingers can kind of nudge their way back and forth a little bit. I'm making very gentle moves, and I'm getting off of my 90 degrees. I like 90-degree roads. I like grids. In Cities 1, I'd have to move substantially more in order to get it off that path. But here, like if I just nudge it right before I go down on the button, suddenly I got an 87-degree road. I'm not happy with that at all. It's very sensitive. And then it's like, if I, okay, oh, which side am I going on? All right, well, I'm going on this side. All right, I'll go with this one. All right, do I want to connect it there? Connect it there? Connect it there? Where are you drawing it, man? Are you drawing it from here? Here? Bro, I want to, can you just jump there? I want to start there. I don't want to be off like a half of, I want to be there. The snapping, I have no ability to control how tightly it will snap, as far as I can tell. I can snap to sides of buildings, snap to guideline, I can snap to all kinds of things. I can toggle it on or off, but I can't toggle the strength of the snap, and I need that. I need it to be toggled in. And I'm thankful that City Skylines has put all kinds of different people on its sidewalks. I am thankful that we've got people of color, the people of not color, people of in-between color, people of size, people of no size, people of all kinds of sizes. There's no wheelchairs yet. And frankly, for somebody with a disability, they're not concerned with the people who are in the wheelchair on the other side of the mouse. Okay? I'm going to say that right now. I've got a problem, and that's why I play games where I can pause them and think and line things up perfectly, and it makes me mad that I tried to make a straight road here, and instead I got a wiggly road, because it just doesn't handle a little twitch that I make with forgiveness. Yeah, I could delete it and keep going. That just takes extra time. I don't want to do that. Cities 1, if I start playing that, I'll just put the road in and I'm good. And yeah, I can build roads on top of other roads and they'll overlap, and that's what the whole crisscross applesauce you see here going on at the intersection. That's fine. But I can do a similar thing in Cities 1. I just have to go build to the intersection, then build out of it. It's a few more clicks, but it allows me a lot more precision. That's right. Cities 1 is more precise at building roads in certain circumstances. And modded, it's very precise. Oh, gosh. Yeah, here's those 8-bit wonder. Now let's go ahead and go back up to the highest of the high on the graphics resolution here. Go to high. Boo boo bing ba bong. There we go. Options. Get out of there. Resume game. And look, it's still we're not getting the full line. Oh, whoa. Looks like the texture didn't recover there. That's now it has. Okay, let it bake. I'm not going to hold that against it because there's so many other problems with the game. Yeah, we've got the high rent and the not enough customers things, and if I cared, I'd go after and fix it. But honestly, this is the problem I have, because I want to abandon this game. Just let it burn over here. I went out. I really did, for the very first time in my Steam game history of, I don't know, a decade, or I don't know how long I've been having games there. I actually, for the first time, looked up, how do I refund a game? Because this is the one I want to refund. It's slow. It's ugly. It's demanding so much of my processor. It's running double what it was on Cities 1. And am I getting double out of it? No, I'm getting half or worse. Oh, let's take a look at those fancy buildings, by the way. Where are they located? Oh, here they are. They're now signature buildings. Right. Okay. I get rock musician mansion, film actor mansion, painter mansion, Polaris Suites, Rubik Apartments. I get residences. I get fancy commercial. I get fancy those, industry, offices. Okay, well, wait, what about parks? Ah, here we go. Now we get some landmarks. I get the tall finished tower. I get the Grand Hotel. I get the Ferris wheel. I get the National Gallery of Art. Okay, I get Notre Dame, or Notre Dame, as some people say. All right, let me put in a Notre Dame here. Now, also, how do I tell what size this is? This is a weird thing, because is it this wide or is it wider? I don't know. Anyway, let's plop it down. Everybody loves a Notre Dame or Notre Dame. Let's zoom in on it. All right. Well, that's a nice window there. And those certainly are nice things there. Can we get it to not highlight, though? Ah! Can I just turn highlighting off for once? Oh, oof. And that motion sickness business. Why is that on by default? Give players motion sickness when you turn. Oh, this is, yeah, I'm seeing it here. That is a really pretty Notre Dame. And I'm glad I found it, because I was getting kind of mad that, we didn't have anything that looked that good here. And I figured, while I'm making the video, let's check the parks. Okay, so they got that there. That is gorgeous looking. What has it done to my speed? Let me go up to speed 3. 3, 4, 5. 1 month is equal to 24 hours. There's about 4 real-life seconds per second in the game. So that would mean 1 month in game time equals 4 seconds times 3,600. Oh, Lord. So if I want to get through a month of game time in real time, I'm looking at a couple of days or whatever. I don't know. It just seems ludicrous. And speaking of ludicrous, wait, what happened back here? Whoa, I had no idea we built Notre Dame into a ditch. That brings up the other complaint I've heard a lot of people make about building on slopes. I don't even attempt that here. Where do we turn that off? Just in case somebody wants to say, how do I turn off that freaking whatever it is? Fog, volume entry. You know what? Let's just turn off the fog. Disable that. Clouds. No clouds. Anti-aliasing. They say go with the... Or is that the one? Or, I don't know. Ambient occlusion. Global illumination. Reflections. Depth of field. Motion blur. There you go. No motion blur. Get that out of there. Does that help any? Does that help it? Let's go and resume the game now. Ooh. Okay. No motion blurring. That's much better. Well, why'd you turn it on by default? All right, we'll see how long it takes to get a second of game time. Starting now on 1002, 1003, 1000. Oh, 3 seconds per second. Well, now that's a 25% improvement. Why didn't you just... Oh, but is it from the motion, or is it because I also turned off the freaking clouds? Yeah, you zoom out here. Ooh, it's clear as a bell. Take a look at the water there. And it's not water, it's blue jello. And by the way, it looks the same even on a tiny mountain stream. Yeah. It gets real choppy on the waters, don't it, though? It's the same. It's the same everywhere. Oof. All right, so I got 25% improvement in my graphics by turning off clouds. But, well, it's just 25% improvement in performance. It does nothing about just the blah. I mean, I remember CS1 because I played it today just to see if I was right. The commercial areas are a lot more colorful. These are so muted. A lot more color, a lot better color. And that's even without a LUT. That this is like, I actually took City Skylines 1 with no DLC, no mods, no assets, and loaded that up and played it. And it just looked a lot better than this. I don't know what else to say. Just abandon it. If you have bought it, click on Steam. You can go to Help, and you click on a game, and you can look for a refund there. If you haven't bought it yet, don't buy it. I wouldn't even wait till it's on sale. Dude, if you're tired of playing Cities 1 and you're looking for a new experience that's totally different, go with SimCity 4. It's only $20 and it'll run and look great. Okay, the cars are still chopping along even as I talk here. And yeah, no. Go, and if you're thinking I don't want to play a game that's 20 years old, then play a game that is 8 years old. Cities 1 is fantastic. The mods, the assets, it's wonderful. I'm going to go play that some more. Heck, I've even got a mod in Cities 1 that allows me to fix the names of the streets. And also, some of these places, like if I rotate, I'll actually see that, yeah, there it is. The name of the street shows up inside the building. That's weird. Anyway. Oh, and you get Robin Street. I got a bone to pick about Robin Street because it's right here. And it's right here. Why did it rename Robin Street twice? And this is, by the way, where it got wrecked. This was supposed to be 2 or 4 lanes all the way, and somehow putting a grid on either side made it go 2 lanes in toto. This is, look, even zoomed out. Chugging along. They have no idea what they're doing because it's so slow and choppy. I keep wanting to end this, and I should just end it because there's other problems with the game. I don't need to go into them. I've been yapping away. I started at 3,400. I'm now at 3,700. In Cities 1, I would have already been at 20,000 population if I wanted to be, just unpause and letting it roll. I'd be doing a speed challenge right now. It'd be fantastic. And this is not it. This is not it. No. No.